Good morning. Let's talk about cloud computing. The small presentation about cloud computing. What is cloud computing? Cloud computing, or something within the cloud, is an expression used to describe the variety of computing concepts that involve a large number of computers connected through a network, and this is just connected to internet to access. Basically, a step on from utility computing, a connection where these are connected to a network and to a server and where the client uses them throughout the globe. Using the internet for communication and transport providers hardware, software and network services to client. This is basically where the client can communicate with the different servers and requires what he wanted. In addition, the platform provides on demand on service whatever he wanted at any place at any time through internet. And whatever he wanted, he need to pay for that and pay as you go. They are scaled upon the usages. The hardware and the software services enables him to whatever he needs, and this helps him a lot in the business market. The cloud summary. These are remotely hosted. Services and data are remotely infrastructured. And whatever he wanted, he can log into the service providers which where the cloud is there. And whatever the software or the application he needed is directly fetched from the cloud. Unambiguous. Services or data are available from anywhere as the server takes onto the data storage and the applications will carry you to the center where the data is stored, and you can either download or save the data what you wanted. This is the cloud architecture. You see the first picture says you the person connecting to through a system where and accessing the data what he wanted. The second system says a platform as a service. Like this is an example of Windows Azure where you log into a Windows Azure account and you need to have something like Visual Studios and you need to download the tools which supports Windows Azure where you can access the cloud through a login ID and password, and it gives you a platform where you can do certain things like a developing and deploying it and checking on the data you wanted to store onto the cloud. What is cloud computing? Here is the diagrammatic explanation. These are the computers connected onto a network, and now these computers are then connected to a server. This server gives you a pathway to a route to a storage center, and now the computer will give a new application where the application runs and develops and gives the pathway to a connection to a database storage. And now this is cyclically happens where now the servers, it could be anywhere which are connected to internet. This duplicates the data and this runs for every 2 hours. And since the data is duplicated, even there's no worry even if your data is lost or crashed, as the server looks after that the data is never lost, and therefore the data is secured every time and every time. You see on-demand network access. It gives you to the network access where you have a specific login ID and passwords where the person knows genuinely. Here are the common characteristics of the cloud computing. Massive scale, virtualization, low cost software, geographical distribution, service orientation, advanced security. It's like very low by price. It's like geographically distributed as it is connected to internet. Just like you need to pass in like your ID and your password. Just like the Google, you open at any laptop or any computer around the globe just by typing your username and password and accessing the mails which you are getting. This is similar to that. Advanced security. The security system is so good that the data whatever you're having is never lost and never accessed by any other person. There are like companies like Amazon, Google looking after the cloud. The most essential features are this is on-demand self-service, rapid elasticity, broad network access, and it is providing you a wide range of data that can be stored and duplication of the data and whatever you wanted. Either it should be a platform oriented or a service oriented. Now here is something about cloud service models. Infrastructure as service. The most cloud service models provide the IaaS or IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service. This is like physical or more or less like virtual machine. Pools of hypervisors within the cloud operation support systems can support large number of virtual machines and the ability to scale services up and down according to the customer's varying requirement. To deploy their applications, cloud users install operating systems, images, and application softwares on the cloud infrastructure. In this model, the cloud user patches and maintains the operating system and the application software. Cloud providers typically bill as per the usages and it cost reflects onto the account which they are holding. And you see this is something like platform as service. As discussed earlier, Windows Azure is a kind of an example where you need to have an ID with the Windows Azure provider and it gives you the framework to develop the tools and to certain things like Visual Studio. There's something like solution provider where you need to access your name and ID and write a program and deploy it onto the cloud. This is like example of sales software as a service gives you an example of salesforce.com where it looks after the software it's already built. There is no need for you to upgrade it or check for the maintenance or no fear that it would either crash down or something. These are the different layers of cloud computing. Application service, application platform, service platform, and storage platform. C. It's like Exchange Labs, IBM, Google Apps, Salesforce.com. These all are the examples of software as a service where you doesn't need to check for an upgrade. It gives you an upgrade instead. It checks, it develops instantly. It's just for your usage. It's how you develop it. See, there are the only the out-end application that you are doing and you are using, like Facebook, like Amazon.com. It's already done. It's about all about the usage. It's only just check your data, just like attach your data and submit your data. It's similar to that, as easy as that. Application is mainly focused on services, application, and development. Services are like Google Maps. Applications are like Google Maps that are like already installed. There's nothing you need to specifically look onto that. Development is that like where you customize yourself on what kind is this thing, what kind of application you are looking on, what is that you needed. And infrastructure is more or less looks after platform, storage, and hosting. Like Windows Azure basically looks for more of Windows, Visual Studios, and then the providers like Amazon. Typically, you need to download the toolkit provided by Amazon in order to run the Visual Studio. Then you need to log in. Then you need to access the data which you wanted to put onto the cloud, and then the system, then the emulator starts running. Once you are with this, and then the data is onto the cloud. What are the basic characteristics? See, you doesn't need to know how it is actually developed or it's like very flexible and easy to understand this. Just all the thing is you need to have your data and you need to know the system how it's running, not the backend code. And there are companies which is providing you everything you needed, either like for the platform or either for the software. This is like pay as you go services. Is the best example is Amazon. In general, these are built on the clusters of personal computer servers. As you see, software services, everything is easily provided, like the as I told, like the companies like Amazon. Software as a service. This is as discussed earlier. This is a further explanation for that, saying how it supports the customer needs across the internet. Now, virtualization is followed by my friend Kaushik, Shantan Kaushik.
Hi, this is Shantan. Now I'm going to tell you about virtualization. In virtualization workspace, the abstraction and the execution environment can be authorized by the client and can be well-defined protocols. So in this, basically you can take any dynamically available authorized clients, and here you can be there are many well-defined protocols in this, and the resource courses, if for example like CPU, memory sharing, and many more. Like you can take any data sharing centers. So the software configuration will be also considered in this, like operating system and the service providers. It will be taken into consideration. So there may be different platforms in one system. It includes all the systems, like there are different applications in one system. Like you can see that there are different types of operating systems, hypervisor, hardware, and virtualized stack. So coming to the implementation of the virtual machines. In this, the abstraction of the physical host machines and also the instructions from the virtual machines, that which allows the management of the virtual machine, because it takes the arguments, and also it also defines what should be included at the time. And in this, there's virtual machine, Zen, etc., and there are different types which can define this virtual machine implementation. So in this, it also includes some of the APIs which provides the infrastructure, like it includes all the hardware and support systems. So where you can see there are different types of operating systems in this. It includes only one hardware system or one data center, and it also takes the virtualized stack. So coming to the virtual machine technology allows multiple virtual machines to run on a single physical machine. In this, you can see there is a virtual machine monitor or a hypervision. So there are the virtual machine monitor can be like Zen virtual machine where or UML, denial, and etc. And in this, there are three different types of operating system. For example, it may be like Linux, NetBSD, and Windows. So in this, it includes only one data center, like it shares only in one common hardware system. So but there are many different operating systems, and applications will be independent of every virtual machine. So in this para virtualization, it totally doesn't include the hardware system, but it is very closely to the raw physical performance. In this machines, it runs only a physical machine, like it is independent, and it is also included with the hardware systems. What is the purpose and benefits of this? In many companies, these applications are run by the cloud computing and enables which are the infrastructure dependence to be infrastructure less. So by using this cloud infrastructures, pay as used on demand. So in this, you'll be paying for what you used during your work course. So and it also capitalize and also operational investment. Clients can also platform instead use the platform instead of their own desktop PCs or on their own servers. Like they can share the data on the cloud platform by not including their servers and their data centers. They can keep the data in some virtual machine. So in this, they can put their applications on cloud servers without the cloud, and also process the data manipulations with some web services. They do not include any data center from the user system. It totally depends on the cloud server. So cloud sourcing, why is it becoming a big deal? It is high scale and low cost providers, because you pay as you use according to the usage of the customer or client, whatever it is. So anytime the places access via web browser, it takes he can use it anywhere or from any system anywhere in the world. It is rapid scalability and incremental called and load sharing. So it focuses on local ITs even, because nowadays the IT demand is growing day by day. The data centers cannot be maintained at one place. So these data centers should be stored in a cloud. That will be a easier task for the IT systems. And some of the concerns for these are performance, reliability, and the data centers and the service parameters. Applications on the futures and choices, interaction between the cloud providers, no standard APIs, mix of SOAP and REST. So privacy and security, and basically it's totally a trust which shares the data with other clouds. And some of the commercial cloud offering companies like it is Verio, Moses, and Giant, and there are many more companies like Amazon, Sun Microsystems, and everything. So they mainly take help of these cloud operating, like cloud platform, to store their data, and also they retrieve the data from the cloud. And cloud storage, several large web companies now exploit like it allows the data remotely and to be temporarily cached on the desktop computers. And they are totally dependent on the internet, and they take the data from these cloud, which can be remotely operated, such as it is not a permanent data, but it is as it can be used as a cache memory. So Amazon, which is Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, and a simple storage system are well-known examples. So in this Amazon, we can take which can be taken in the web browser. It takes the application, and in this you can see Amazon Simple Storage Services. It is an unlimited storage. Yeah, you can. It is up to the user, and he will be paying what he's going to use. Like it depends on the GB that he like what is using, and the memory that which is used by the user. So some of the rates, it may be like 20 cents per 1 GB, and it can be for the data transfer, and 0.15 cents for GB monthly for storage used. So second life update is it is something like 40,000 downloads in 24 hours. It is just for $200. It totally depends on the user requirement, and also the client who is giving the cloud. And utility computing, and this Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. So powered by Zen, a virtual machine. It in this there are different VMwares and VPC are used, and para virtualization. In this para virtualization, it totally doesn't include the hardware, but it also includes it sometimes depends on the applications that which are taken, and also in the APIs it includes some address spaces with some additional hardware requirements in this. And the guest OS is modified to use some special hypercalls. And this support live migration of the virtual machine between the host can be included, like some of the maybe Linux, Windows, and Open Solaris, etc. And management console or API, some other applications. So EC2, and the basics are load your images on S3 and register it, and you can boot your image, open up when it is required, and you can connect the image to your SSH and execute your applications whenever it is needed and wherever you are. And it is more scalable and more reliable for the user. He can use it wherever he wants, anywhere in the world. And opportunities and challenges are, and the use of these providers of a number of opportunities. There are many advantages for the user. It enables the services to be used without the infrastructure, and in this the cost would be on demand pricing. he will be paying on what he used previously, and also in the future also he will be paying what he's going to use. And the vendors and the services provider claims will be established on ongoing revenue streams. It totally depends upon the cost that which is depend on the hourly basis or the monthly basis. It is up to the user and the client who's given the sharing cloud. And the data centers and the services are stored remotely but accessible from anywhere. It may be your wireless handset or from the system. And other opportunities and challenges, there in parallel it has been a backlash against the cloud computing. In this, the other likely becoming a bigger internet companies like Google, IBM plays a monopolized market role in this cloud sharing. So some urges that supercomputers is a written time for the mainframes computing, and the PCs will be a reaction against them. And the security could be proved to be a big issue. Uh, and the experts are working on this. The security is mainly included, and it is unclear how safe outsourced data and when services ownership and the data is now always clear, because if you're sharing your data with some cloud, you'll be it should be more secure whenever it is retrieved or whenever it is stored, because it should not be shared with some other third party or some other companies. So there are many issues that which are relating to these policies and accesses, like how to access a file, and how the remote servers go down, and how to work on them work when the remote servers go down. And there has been a cases of user being located in accounts and losing the access of the data, because even after sharing the data in the cloud, he may be there are some instances where the data has been lost, and also the data is stored somewhere where the policy is to adhere to, like he should be retrieving the data but he's not able to do that. So there are many issues relating to these policies and accesses. So they are day by day it is decreasing, and this level is in the cloud is becoming more secure. And some of the advantages of cloud computing. So now this will be continued by my friend Ravi.
Hey, hi everyone, this is Ravi. Now I'll be continuing with advantages of cloud computing. One of the main advantages of cloud computing is lower computer costs. Basically, you don't need a high powered and high priced computer to run a cloud computing's web based application. So, a lower computer operator would also do. Since applications run in the cloud, not on the desktop personal computer, your desktop personal does not need the processing power or hard disk demanded by a traditional desktop software. When you are using a web-based application, your PC can be less expensive as well as with a smaller hard disk and less memory, more efficient processor. In fact, your PC in this scenario does not even need a CD or a DVD drive, as no software program have been loaded and no documents file need to be saved. And other advantage of cloud computing is like improved performance. With large program hogging on your computer memory, you'll see a better performance for your PC. Computers in cloud system boot faster, and because they have a fewer programs and processes load into memory, and reduce software costs, because like instead of purchasing a really expensive software application, you can always get this for free of cost and stuff. Most cloud computing applications today, such as Google Docs, are available for free in the market. And nowadays, like every software is like you get software updates where instant. Like this is one of the other advantage of cloud computing. Like when the application is a web-based or updates have automatically updated. and when you access a web-based application, you get the latest version without needing to pay for the download or an upgrade. And improved document format compatibility is also one of the main advantage of a cloud computing. Like you don't need to worry about the documents you create on a machine being compatible with users application or other operating systems. There are also potentially no format incompatibilities when everyone is sharing documents and applications in the cloud. And nowadays, like storage is also one of the main like advantage and stuff. So like cloud computing offers virtually limitless storage because like you can always store anywhere and you can access it from anywhere else and from any remote desktop you can access it if you are connected to internet. And increased data reliability. Like unlike desktops computing in which a hard disk crashes and destroys all your valuable data, a computer crashing in the cloud should not affect the storage of your data. In a world where few individual desktop PC users back up their data on regular basis, cloud computing is data safe cloud computing platform. And universal document access, like this is also one of the main advantage of a cloud computing. That instead they stay in cloud and like this is not a problem in cloud computing because you do not need to take your documents with you. They stay in the cloud and you can access them whenever you want, have a computer and an internet connection. And documents are instantly available whenever you are connected. And latest version availability, when you edit a document at home, that edited version is what you see when you access the document at work. The cloud always hosts the latest version of your document. Easier group collaboration. Sharing the documents leads directly to better collaboration. Like many users do this as it is an important advantage of cloud computing. Say multiple users can collaborate easily on a document and project. Device independence. You are no longer tethered to a single computer or a network. Changes to computers or applications and documents follow you through the cloud. Move to a portable device and your applications and documents are still available. It requires a constant internet connection. Now with the disadvantage of cloud computing, Shantan will continue.
Hi. Now again, I'm going to continue this with the disadvantages of the cloud computing. Some of the disadvantages of this cloud computing are it is impossible to connect to the internet whenever it is required. So if there is no access for your handset or if there is no Wi-Fi or internet connection for your system, this will be a hard task for connecting to the cloud. So coming to if you are connected to both your applications and the documents, and if you don't have the internet connection, you cannot access anything. So it's useless. So making something stored in the cloud, and if you don't have any internet access, it's zero. So if you have even other documents that which are shared in the cloud, or all the other applications that which are even running in the application, even running in the cloud, from the it is taken from the cloud server, so it will be a big mess if the internet access has been denied. So a dead internet connection means which has no work in the areas, and also the connections are fewer, inherent and reliable. So this is a deal breaker. If the internet connection is totally dead or if it is disconnected, then there is no use of making a cloud application to be stored in some other database. So does not it really does not work well, and with the low speed connections also even. So nowadays in many areas we can see that there are many areas where the internet access is even not available nowadays, and if it is available, it is for the like minimum speed like 512 kbps or 1 GB or something. But it is hard to use your cloud data with this internet speed, and the application that which require a lot of bandwidth download, so as to the large documents. So and this future might be limited, like for example, if the Microsoft PowerPoint is more it is if it is occupying more space than the Google presentations, and which offers a web-based offering, then it is useless for by using these cloud platforms. So the situations in this can be like the web-based applications are not fully featured and the desktop-based than the desktop-based applications, because using a PowerPoint from Microsoft and using a Google presentations it is totally different, and it can be slow. It is a main disadvantage. In this, even with the fast connection, the web-based applications can be sometime be slower than accessing the similar software programming on the desktop PC. So even if we cannot say that if the internet speed is more, and it can we can use the cloud platform with more access. Like there is no point of telling that if internet is good, we can retrieve the data from the cloud. So there are many cases that the web-based applications can also be slower. So in this, everything about the program or the interfaces of the current documents has been sent back and forth from your computer and the computers in the cloud. Because if you are retrieving some data and if you are updating something, and it can be also manipulated and can be stored in the cloud. So in this cloud server, it happens to be backend up, and at that moment, if the internet connection is slow in that day, and you may not be having instant access, or you might expect from your desktop applications. So if you're running some application or storing some data, or if you're working on something, if the internet connection is denied, then there is no point of working with this connection or with this cloud platform. So there is no meaning to be worked with this cloud platform. So it is going to be a big mess with this. So disadvantages of the cloud computing: stored data might not be secure, because the first question that which may arise for everyone or the user is, if I share the data with the cloud, is it secured, or is it in a safe state? With the cloud computing, all your data is stored in the cloud. And the question is, how secure is your data in the cloud? And there are unauthorized users gain access of your confidential data. There are many chances of getting these possibilities, that if you are sharing a data in the cloud, and there is a possibility of third party, like if you are sharing a data in cloud and I'm the third party, there are many chances of getting the data, like I can share your data and I can view everything and I can update everything. So this is going to be pointless, because storing some other, like retrieving some other's data and manipulating it, and it will be a loss for the user, and the stored data can be lost. So theoretically, we can see that cloud is safe, but it can be replicated across many multiple machines. But there are many chances of the losing the data, because the system may be crashed, and there are off chances that your data goes missing, like you have physical or local backup. If you don't have any backup, if the system is crashed, then there's no point of retrieving this from the cloud or from any other system. So relying on the cloud puts your system, if the cloud is letting you down, then this is going to be a disadvantage for the user. And the next, coming to the HPC systems, this is not clear for the compute intensive HPC applications, like it can be used MPIs or OpenMP. So scheduling is important with this type of application, as you want all the virtual machines to be collated to minimize the computer latency. So India scheduling is the first point that which is to be taken into consideration and to be worked on it. So the so basically we should work on 2 points, that is security and scheduling. So some of the general concerns are, uh, if the cloud systems uses different protocols of different APIs, it may not be possible to run an application between the cloud-based systems and your application. So if your system is not running with some application, or you can retrieve this application from the cloud and you can run it. And Amazon has created its own database systems and also workflow systems. So your normal application will have to be adapted and it should be executed on these platforms. If some application is to be adapted and it is retrieved from some database, it is going to be executed on the platforms like some cloud or in these Amazon, for example. So coming to the future, we can see that there are many active loosely grouped together under the cloud computing have already been happening, and also they are taking care of the security measures, and also scheduling. The scheduling department is also taking care of every loophole. So grid computing was the last research, and it is a centralized approach. And the main concern about this is mainstream adoption of the cloud computing, which causes many problems of the user. So it may be many disadvantages, like which is spoken as earlier. So many new open sources are appearing that can install and run on your local cluster, and it should be run a variety of applications on these systems, or maybe on any other platforms. So that's it. Thank you for the
Thank you.
presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.